Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. Swami says that the essential purpose of devotional singing is to earn the love of God. Combining one's voice, tune, feeling, and the rhythm to the appropriate beat of the song, the devotee should immerse himself in the singing. Harmonizing the feeling with devotion and love, the sacred words of the song should be an outpouring of love towards God. That alone is devotional singing. Today is the first day of our beloved Bhagwan's 96th birthday celebrations, and for today's satsang, we have Brother Mayur Davay. Brother Mayur is a singer member of the Sundaram Bhajan Group Chennai. He was blessed by Bhagwan many times and has sung in the divine presence on many occasions at Prashanti Nilayam, Brindavan, Sai Shruti Kodaikanal, and also during Bhagwan's divine visit to Chennai in 2007 on occasion of the Atirudra Mahayagnyam. He was blessed to receive a green stone ring materialized by Swami after he played a role of Narada in a drama at Prashanti Nilayam in the year 2010. He is a professional bhajan and Hindustani singer, music teacher running classes, harmonium player accompanying many leading artists for concerts, and a voice culture trainer. Let us enjoy this session. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to all of you. Sai Ram. Am I audible?
Yes, Sai Ram. Yes, Mayur. Yeah.
It's clear enough, sir?
Very clear, yeah.
Very clear? Okay. ध्यानमूलम् गुरुर्मूर्तिम् पूजामूलम् गुरुर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यम् मोक्षमूलं गुरुर्कृपा मोक्षमूलं गुरुर्कृपा अरुणारमणा श्रीगुरुदेवा अरुणारमणा श्रीगुरुदेवा शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा अरुणारमणा श्रीगुरुदेवा भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा 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 भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा गुरु है सतचित आनंद देवा गुरु है सतचित आनंद देवा आनंद देवा श्री साई देवा आनंद देवा श्री साई देवा अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा offering myself at the Thy lotus feet of our Divine Master, the Supreme Consciousness, the Cosmic Being, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Thanks to all of you for joining, and thank you so much for inviting me for a beautiful satsang as part of Swami's birthday celebrations. It's a great privilege and blessing and um, great fortune uh, to be a part of Bhagwan's mission and living in the same era as the Avatar, which is I think the greatest blessing that we can ever think of. Um, so there's a very beautiful thought that was crossing my mind, and this has never ceased to amaze me. And uh, every time I think about it, there's always a question in me. And of course, I've written a lot of letters to Swami asking about this too. So this is something to do with the bhajan that we just sang, Aruna Ramana Sesha Ramana. So I've always wondered Swami as an avatar. So we say Swami is the Shiva Shakti Swarupa. Shirdi Baba used to, Swami has said Shirdi Baba was the previous avatar, was the embodiment of Shiva. And Swami says it's Shiva Shakti Swarupa. And so many other things, so many, we kind of associate so many things with Swami's avatar. And Swami himself has spoken about a lot of things about his own avatarhood and his advent. So many things that Swami has revealed. Now there is always this question. Yes, okay, Swami was born in the year 1926, and as we are speaking, in the next 2 days, we are going to be celebrating. We are already celebrating, and the main day, the 23rd of November, it's going to be Swami's 96th birthday. 96 years back, the advent happened, and for quite some time he didn't reveal a lot of things. I think he was just doing a lot of miracles here and there, and he never told the world that he's the avatar. Now, very beautifully, uh, on the 20th of October 1940, the the declaration of the avatarhood happened, and we all know the story behind it. And Swami came back from the school and just threw all the books, and in his own inimitable manner, um, he just said, I'm Sai Baba. I'm the Shirdi avatar himself. I've come for the sake of my devotees. I've not come for all this. I've come for the sake of the world. I've come for the sake of all my devotees. Now, after this, of course, we all know Swami sat on the stone and um, like how he used to be sitting in his previous avatar, in the Shirdi avatar. And he sang this beautiful bhajan, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. Of course, Swami in his childhood has sung so many bhajans. He used to run the Pandri Bhajan group himself. And he used to sing a lot of bhajans. But once he declared the avatarhood, very beautifully he sang this bhajan, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. Now, the question arises here. He says, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, Dustara Bhavasagar Taranam. Yes, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. He is going to be the only one who is going to help us cross this ocean of this materialistic world, of the Bhavasagara. Dustara Bhavasagar Taranam. And he goes on to sing, Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai. Sai Nath Sadguru Jai Jai. Then he sings Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namo. Now here comes the mystery. Now he sings Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Okay, so that's the Tiruvannamalai version, so I'm always carried away with that. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Aruna Shivom. This is how we have heard Swami singing n number of times. Now the question is, why should Swami sing Arunachala Shiva? Okay, let's think from different perspectives, different angles. I've done this, so I've written letters to Swami asking this. Why Arunachala Shiva? Okay, Swami's avatar happened in Puttaparthi, which is in Andhra Pradesh. Of course, now Telangana, Andhra, let's not get into that. If he had to really sing about Shiva, because he started with Om Namah Shivaya, he could have taken any other form of Shiva from any other place, because you have Kedarnath, you have Kashi, you have Kailash, you have his own the state in which Puttaparthi is there. He could have sung about Mallikarjuna. It could have been any other place. Why Arunachala? Swami's avatar didn't happen in Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu, but he chose to sing Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Aruna Shivam. Why? Now, this is, of course, I love this word called, in Sanskrit, I love this word called Kapala Kalpita. It's a very beautiful word. It says Kapala Kalpita. It's our own creation of the mind. Which Swami has time and again said there is no mind. Very beautifully, I remember one of the brothers, when we all used to be a part of the bhajan, the youth group, many years back. Swami had given a diamond ring to this brother, and he asked him, "What is this?" He said, "Swami, ring, Swami." "What ring?" "Swami, diamond ring, Swami." "What is diamond?" Very beautifully, Swami asked him, "What is diamond?" So this brother he didn't know what to answer exactly. So he said, "Swami, it's a stone, just a stone." And he said, "No, Swami, it's a very precious stone. That's all." And he said, "Swami, I don't know." Then Swami very beautifully said, "Forget the stone. Diamond is for mind." So very beautifully, nobody else apart from our beloved Lord can actually draw this kind of a comparison and tell you a diamond ring should keep reminding you that it is denoting thy mind. How beautiful. And so I just get reminded of another incident very beautifully. We all know Swami's connection with Vibhuti. So we can say, oh, he Shiva Shakti avatar, obviously it's all about Vibhuti and all that. Okay, there are a lot of different versions of all these things. Now beautifully, Swami's connection with Vibhuti, we have seen those very beautiful videos where Swami has done Abhisheka for the Shirdi Sai Vigraha with so much of Vibhuti. Kasturi sir holding the pot, and he doesn't know what is happening, and Swami is just beautifully just pushing his hand inside and just gushing Vibhuti, just gushing and on top of Shirdi Baba. And of course, we all know how beautifully Swami used to materialize Vibhuti and give it to so many devotees. And so many of us would have got the opportunity of getting Vibhuti from Swami. So many of us would have got the opportunity of Swami applying that Vibhuti on our forehead. And so many instances, so many of us would have also experienced where Swami used to send Vibhuti packets as prasadam. Or when somebody is gone for an interview inside and Swami gives them Vibhuti packets and sends them. Somebody is sick and Swami is sending Vibhuti. So many incidents and so many experiences around Vibhuti. Now, very beautifully, we all get caught in all these things where we think of, oh, Swami gave me Vibhuti, Swami sent Vibhuti for me, so Swami materialized Vibhuti, Swami did that Vibhuti Abhisheka. So many things around Vibhuti. One beautiful aspect which has always caught my attention, which I still wonder how beautifully our Lord has drawn a comparison and he kind of injects all these things into us about Vibhuti. This point I'll never forget in my life, because one of the discourses Swami was talking about Vibhuti, I think it was many years back. I don't remember the year. Swami was talking about Vibhuti, And Swami was talking about some Shiva Shakti and all that, and he spoke about Shiva as an avatar. I think it was probably Shivaratri, I don't remember. Swami very beautifully was talking about Vibhuti, and he said, yes, it's the sacred ash, Shiva, and Shiva is sitting in the, Shiva used to sit in the smashana, the burial ground, and all those things. Swami said, what is Vibhuti? Said everybody knows it's sacred ash. What is the significance of Vibhuti? How beautifully Swami said, Vibhuti, as it implies, as the sacred ash, it is just ash. If you actually burn ash, nothing will remain. This world is also like that, nothing will remain. Nothing is real. Jagat Mithya, as Adi Shankara says, very beautifully. And Swami went on to say how beautifully, now why do you apply Vibhuti? Swami very, very jocularly started talking about how people have their own styles of applying Vibhuti. And of course, yes, there is a lot of, a lot of ways of applying, and the three lines on the forehead, and how we have to apply on our arms, and so many beautiful things around Vibhuti, definitely. Swami was just joking about, it has become another, something like a makeup nowadays, and all that. Swami was joking, and suddenly he got very serious and all that. All that is not important. Why do you apply Vibhuti? When you apply Vibhuti, say morning and evening, we have this morning, you take a bath, and before you do your puja or worship or whatever form of worship, however you do that, and you take Swami's Vibhuti, and you just apply it on your forehead. And again in the evening, when you again maybe have a bath, and then again want to do your evening prayers, you just take Swami's Vibhuti and apply. Swami said every time that you apply Vibhuti on yourself, on your forehead, it should keep reminding you that you will also be the same ash one day. How beautifully somebody can just inject that point in you about body attachment. Swami went on to say, now why are you getting attached to this body, which is going to be only this ash one day? How beautiful. Now coming back to the very thing that we started in the beginning, why is Swami singing Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala? What is the connection that he has? Of course, we would have heard about a lot of maybe some, lot of comparisons drawn between people talk about Ramana and Tiruvannamalai and all those things. Now, yeah, of course, Tiruvannamalai, as the story goes, we all know about it, how it happened, and the fight between Brahma and Vishnu, and how they go to Shiva for a justice, or you may call it, and all that happens. And then he goes on to say, okay, somebody go, and he takes the form of a Jyoti, and he says, okay, you go, and somebody go and find the source, and somebody go and find the end, the Adi and the Anta. Both of them are not able to, and the story goes, let me not get into those details. Now beautifully, after they come back, and they say, no, this Mahavishnu says, no, I'm not able to. Brahma lies, but Shiva says, no, you're lying. And of course, the story goes, and after that, now Shiva has already taken the form of a Jyoti, and what happens to that? He says, this was purely taken for the reason of, for the purpose of destroying the ego. Ego is nothing but identity. And that, for the sake of the world, for the sake of humanity, for the sake of mankind, this is definitely going to be there forever. And that takes a form which is an immovable form, what we call as Achala. Now, Aruna, which also denotes a light, Jyoti, whatever we call it. Aruna, Achala, the light which has taken a permanent and an immovable form, is what we call as Arunachala. Now, Swami, coming back to Swami, now why should he sing about Arunachala, and why is all this all this that we are talking about, all this that we are thinking about, all this that we are trying to understand. Now, Swami, if you see, in all his glory of his avatarhood, time and again, somewhere or the other, of course, he said, okay, I've come for the sake of my devotees, I've come for the sake of this world. He set up a lot of things, his own institutions. We all know about Swami's hospitals, Swami's institutes, Swami's water projects, and whatnot, the organization and everything. So we are present in more than 170 countries across the world, and yes, across the world, yes, it's his glory which is just spreading more and more. But we should not definitely fail to remember that every now and then, Swami, in so many of his discourses, he's always said, I am God, you are also God. I know it. I know that I am God. You don't know that you're God. You have not realized that you're God. But you and me, we are one. Swami is always, of course, one of the thought for the day, I think it was yesterday or something, the intane, ventane, gentane, Swami talks about, I'm always with you, in you, around you, above you, below you, in all that he says. But he definitely doesn't cease to always say, I am you, you are me. Of course, he says, I am yours and you are mine. But he goes on to say, I am you, you are me. Now, this is something that he has also mentioned in a different manner. He's spoken about the purpose of this avatar. Of course, he's spoken about a lot of things that he has revealed and all that. But definitely, he's never he's never failed to say, I have come to make you realize yourself. I have come to make you ask me what I have come to give you. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So I think somewhere again, if I have to again call it as my own Kapala Kalpita, where this probably this is the reason why Swami, in his very first bhajan, after he declared the avatarhood on the 20th of October 1940, he goes on to sing Manasa Bhajare, and he sings Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Aruna Shivam. I mean, so from there, very beautifully, one of the incidents that I get reminded of, two of my very close associates. One is a very, very dear friend, my childhood friend, and that family was the family which actually introduced me to Swami. I will also go on to say how, if I can say, how accidentally all that happened. There is no accident in Swami's mission. But we all think that, oh, by accident this happened and finally I landed up with Swami. No, it doesn't happen that way. So one was this friend of mine. The other person is a very, very close. I can't call him a friend. I can't call him an acquaintance. I can't call him an associate or whatever. He's a very, very spiritually elevated person. Personally blessed by Swami 21 years back. With a very clear direction in terms of his spirituality. So these two people had gone to Prashanti Nilayam. So what is, I was there for a couple of days and then I came back. Now, throughout those few days, so if I may call one person as A and the other person as B. Person A is actually talking about a lot of spirituality, Advaita philosophy. Swami has come only for this. We are getting caught with all these things and all that. So many materialistic things happening, worldly things happening. I think we are just getting caught in all these things. Now, the other person B, is failing to understand. He says, Swami, then why should Swami establish these institutions? Then why should Swami start a hospital? Why should Swami give free Medicare and Educare and so many things? Why should Swami do all that? And why so much of hangama around? And why such a big Kulwant Hall? You have Sai Ramesh Hall, you have Sai Shruti in Kodakinal, so many, so many centers across the world, Sati Sai Seva Organization. So many things. Why should Swami do all that? Can't he just directly just come and tell the devotees, you know what, like how Ramana never used to talk about anything else. Whenever you go and talk to him, whatever they have gone and spoken to him, he's always spoken about only one thing. Who are you? Who am I? He'll always come back to square one. Now, why should Swami do all this? Swami has told you, okay, do bhajans. We have Dashara festival, festivals across the year, so many things. Now, this is becoming an argument between these two. Now, person B is saying, no, I can't agree that Swami has come only to redeem you, only to make you realize yourself. Person A, who's the very spiritually elevated and blessed soul, he's going on saying, no, all this is okay. The world is here. He's also a part of this world because he has taken a human form. He's talking about all these things. But no, the real purpose of the avatar is something else. Now, this is going on for, it went on for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days. This is now becoming a heated argument. Every time after the darshan, they get to fight. Now, this is just going nowhere, and they are like, they're not proceeding. It's not getting anywhere. Now, this is when suddenly one fine day, I think the third or the fourth day, they've gone for darshan, evening darshan. And the darshan happened, and Swami finished the darshan, and Swami went inside. And he finished the interview, the evening interview, and he came out. Generally, after the evening interview, if you remember those days, Swami used to come out and he used to talk to the students, call Anil Kumar sir and talk to him about something. And then eventually, when the time is up, he used to start bhajans. That day, suddenly, Swami just called for somebody and gave an instruction. And as we have all seen, Swami's podium that comes. So everybody's like, oh, Swami is going to give a discourse. If you remember the wooden podium where, in the front, we will all see that big Om, and Swami's 2 microphones will be kept, and he'll give a discourse, and Anil Kumar sir translating. So Swami is getting ready for a discourse. So it's like, it's a normal day. There's no festival around. Suddenly on a normal day, Swami is just giving a discourse. I think this was sometime in June. June is generally a month where we don't have festivals. It's all done with May, Ishwarama Day, and July we start with again Guru Purnima, and then go on with Janmashtami and other things. Until December, we are all busy. And again, January, February, and all that. June is generally a lean month, and we don't have much of festivals. And Swami suddenly giving a discourse. Swami started talking, and Swami started talking about a lot of things. Bukkapatnam, Penukonda. He's talking about his childhood, how you used to go to school, and people used to mock at him, make fun of him, and so many other things. What he did in terms of suddenly he made his friends see sun in the late evenings sometime, and all those things. And from nowhere, from all that about his childhood, from nowhere, Swami goes on to suddenly talk about why are you born and all that. Now, these two, the person A and person B, they are really taken aback. They don't know what to do. They are really taken aback. They really don't know what to do. And they are like, what is Swami suddenly talking about? And for the rest of the discourse, Swami spoke only about who am I, self-realization, self-inquiry, blah, 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 and all that. And towards the end, Swami said, this is the purpose of the avatar. And the beauty is, it was like, imagine for these two people, one person, for person A, it is like an attestation of whatever he was thinking, and it was like, yes, I am on the right journey, I am on the right path, and I think I'm in the right direction. For the other person, all the doubts cleared very beautifully. Oh, I thought, no, all this. No, Swami just clarified, this is the purpose of the avatar. Very unfortunately, I don't remember the exact date and the year of that discourse. I'm still trying to recollect. If I ever get to know, I think it was definitely in the month of June, because it was no festival at the time. Again, so the Arunachala concept around it is done. So I something which always mesmerizes me, and that's the reason I started with this bhajan today. So while we talk about this, another beautiful bhajan, I know it was termed as a musical satsang. I've been talking, just talking for the last, for some time now. Very beautifully, what immediately that comes to my mind is this very beautiful bhajan. Hmm. So hum dhyan karo. We all have heard Swami talking about so hum. Swami used to go on, uh, do it also and show it to us. How should you do that? So hum, he used to say. While you inhale, it is so, and while you exhale, it is hum. The meaning, very meaning of Soham is I am that. How beautifully Swami used to say, just concentrate on Soham. We've heard so many discourses where Swami has spoken about it. Now one thing that I would definitely like to mention here is there is also something, I'm sure all of you also know about it. There is something called Koham, which is basically the question. Koham, who am I? Soham, which is the answer, I am that. That which cannot be described, that which cannot be defined, that which cannot be explained, that is that. Like how what Swami says, I am I. How will you explain I am when Swami says, I am this? No. Swami always beautifully says, I am I. Or he says, I am God. So we'll try to sing this bhajan. So hum dhyan karo. So hum dhyan karo. Soham Brahma, Soham Vishnu, Soham Sai, Dhyan Karo. Soham Atma, Shiva Paramatma, Soham Atma, Shiva Paramatma. ब्रह्मानंद से हृदय भरो, ब्रह्मानंद से हृदय भरो. सोहम सोहम ध्यान करो. Such a beautiful bhajan. Now, going on to talk about, I was just talking about how seemingly accidentally it happened. No, it is never an accident. Very beautifully, one of our brothers, he always says this. There are no coincidences with Swami. There are definitely no coincidences with Swami. There's no coincidence with Swami. Coincidences are incidents where God chooses to be anonymous. How beautifully put. How beautifully explained. Coincidences, according to the world, according to us, coincidentally that happened. Coincidences are incidents where God chooses to be anonymous. And we think it's a coincidence. Very beautiful. Now, they were actually introducing. I think it was a very exaggerated introduction, sir. It was too many things. If I have to ever see a humble, always at his feet, a very humble devotee, if I may call so myself, he has to call us a devotee, and we don't claim ourselves as a devotee. So this happened in the year 2000. The same friend that I was talking about, whose family introduced me to Swami. A couple of years before that, I had started visiting the local Samiti in Chennai, but I was dead against Swami. With all humility, with all reverence, with all submission, I would definitely want to say that yes, I was against Swami, because I used to be a very regular visitor to a Shirdi Baba temple there. And all the Sai that I always used to know was only Shirdi Sai Avatar. And here is somebody who is actually trying to take the name of Sai Baba and according to me just fooling the world. uh, Something not okay, something not straight, something which is fake, and I was against Swami. And but I still used to visit the local samiti because instantly I fell in love with Swami's bhajans, Sai bhajans. The very first time I heard that, I think I was in my 11th standard or something when I heard Swami's bhajans, and I instantly fell in love with Swami's bhajans. And today it's such a great fortune. Somebody in a beautiful satsang like this, somebody is introducing me as a bhajan group member, a Sundaram bhajan group member, any bhajan group, any center, any samiti, any seva mandali, any bhajan mandali. It's such a great fortune to be singing Swami's bhajans. Now, yeah, so this happened, and couple of my friends, including this friend of mine, they were thinking of go visiting Shirdi. So, of course, my family, I used to be in my college that time, I think my first year or something, first year or second year, I think. And I said, no, my family will not allow and all that. But somehow that happened. Um, and we all decided and we booked our tickets and all that. And we went to Shirdi. And it was a 5-day trip, and return again from Shirdi to Pune, you'll have to go by bus or something. Nowadays, I know there are direct flights and direct trains and all that. So we used to go to Pune, and Pune, from Pune we used to go to Shirdi those days. And yeah, everything is booked. Um, now the very beautiful part here is we've landed in Shirdi. We were attending Harti after Harti, the Sage Arti, the Madhyana Arti, the evening Arti, the night Arti. Everything was going on. No, not the Sage Arti, the Kakad Arti. I'm so sorry. Kakad Arti, the Madhyana Arti, and all the 4 Artis, as you may know. And all that was happening. And suddenly these two boys, they are Sai devotees, they're Swami's devotees, and they were really feeling, like wanting to go and see Swami and all that. And they started talking about it, and it became a big fight because I said, I'm not coming to see this man and all that. I was dead against Swami. They said, no, you also come. And I said, how will you go? Your return ticket to Chennai is done, and how will you go? They said, no, somehow Swami will show a way. I said, how is this even possible? I don't understand your belief at all. They said, no, if our desire is true, Swami will definitely show us a way. I said, okay, wait for it and keep waiting for it. Nothing is going to happen. And we went for one of the artis, and when we came back to the room, and one of these boys, they'd got Swami's books, some books to read, and one of the books was Shirdi to Parthi. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you would have read that book, Shirdi to Parthi, which was written by, I think, Dr. Gadia, if I'm not wrong. He just took that book and he just opened it, and behind the content or the index page, there is a map, half of India map, where beautifully there is a route which is showing Shirdi and Parthi. He showed it to me. He said, see, this is how Swami guides us and all that. I said, okay, with this map, what will you do? Will you walk to Puttaparthi from? You can't walk. What are you talking? He said, no, Swami will definitely show us a way. I think this is a hint. I think we should go. I said, okay, chalo, we'll also, let me also go and see what he's actually doing, and let me challenge him. And, I was dead against Swami. And so in Shirdi, I'm not sure if it is still existing there. There used to be this railway counter inside the temple compound somewhere on the left-hand side or something. So we went there directly. We said, sir, we have this ticket, our return ticket, but we are actually wanting to go to Puttaparthi. How to go? That man in the counter, I think he was a Maharashtrian, and he was a very staunch devotee of Shirdi Baba and all that. He got very angry. Somebody is standing in Shirdi and coming to the reservation counter and asking how to go to Puttaparthi. We're like, what? Puttaparthi? Then he's like, okay, that is next to Guntur, Dharmavaram and all that, no? He said, yes, sir. These boys were talking about it. And then he said, okay, this train that you're taking for your return stops in Guntur. Get down in Guntur. From there, you'll have to somehow go. And it will be very close. From there, you have to go to Dharmavaram, and from there, you have to go. But he said, Guntur is the station that you can get down in the same train. You don't have to cancel your ticket or rebook your ticket. And these boys are jumping with joy. And so we got into the train the next day or something, and we got down in Guntur. We asked them, how can we go to Puttaparthi? They said, no, you can't go to Puttaparthi. There's no train. Those days, there was no direct train. They said, there's no train. You will have to go to Dharmavaram, and from there you go. And I think some train, they said, okay, the next train is coming that is going to some Karnool or something like that. Get down in Dharmavaram. So we boarded the train. No seat available, just to stand near the toilet in the train. I was so irritated, and yes, we somehow reached Dharmavaram, and then it was very, very hard. I think it was end of July and beginning of August. And now what happens very beautifully is, you get down in Dharmavaram, there is not a single bus where you get seats, because all the buses are full to Puttaparthi. Because I think that was a time when the some Sevadals were coming for duty, and all the buses were full. They had just landed in Dharmavaram. All the buses were full. They were all going for Seva. And somehow, we couldn't, get into any of those buses. And finally, I think it was lunchtime. They said the next bus is only after 2-3 hours or something like that. Nowadays, I think the frequency is increased. All that happened, and then finally, somehow, one auntie was stranded there. She said, "Beta, we'll take a taxi or something," and all that. Taxis were not available. They were all gone for lunch, and no taxis were there. Finally, we took an auto from Dharmavaram to Puttaparthi. I will definitely not forget this in my lifetime, because it was so hot one side and so hungry we are. And you take an auto, and with three people, no, we are including that auntie. We are four people, and these boys made me sit along with the driver in the front. And you can imagine, an auto from Dharmavaram to Puttaparthi, it is not going beyond 30 or 40 kilometers per hour speed. And with all these things, the evening darshan, I think we somehow reached, and all that happened. And evening darshan, we couldn't get to a seat in the front, and we were at the back of Kulwant Hall. And the next day morning, the darshan happened. By then, so I was just taking a Shirdi Sai Satcharitra that I had got in Shirdi. So I was just reading that book. Okay, something happens. Okay, I'm waiting for bhajans. Basically, I know the bhajans are nice. So Swami comes out for darshan, and he crosses Mahila side, and then comes towards the Gen side, and then turns. We fortunately got the second or the third row or something. And when Swami was near our side, of course he was on the opposite side. I don't know what happened. He suddenly turned and he looked at me, and I think, in the second or the third row or something. I just got up. I was kneeling down, and I just showed the Satcharitra to him, and he just blessed it, and he just went off. Oh, what happened? Why did I ask? Why did I seek blessings from him? I have no idea. Now, after that, these boys were like, okay, what did you do? And Swami went off for this one, interview. And after that, the bhajans started, and I really enjoyed the bhajans. I was actually weeping like a child, because the bhajans were just so beautiful. Very beautiful bhajans. We all know how beautiful bhajans are. And of course, in Parthi. And this happened, and very beautifully, bhajans got over, and everything got over. And then I was having an argument with these boys. Why do you write letters? If you say he's God, he knows everything, right? Why do you write letters? And there was an argument. Of course, I was not convinced and all that. And when we went for the afternoon darshan, the evening darshan, those days books were allowed, pens were allowed. We used to take all these things inside. My friend was actually writing a letter, and Swami's darshan just started. He just came out of Purnachandra, the old residence. And while he was just entering Kulwant Hall, I just grabbed the notepad from my friend, and I started writing a letter. And believe me or not, the entire letter, which was just a small letter, maybe a paragraph or something, I was just apologizing to Swami. Swami, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I apologized. Why in the first place even write a letter? And then there's no envelope to put it inside, because there was only one envelope, and my friend has taken the envelope for his letter. I just folded that into 2 or 4, and we're waiting, and Swami comes to the Gen side. Again, fortunately, we are somewhere in the front, and Swami was on the opposite side. I was wondering whether he would take the letter or not and all that. And suddenly he just turned and he came to our side. And beautifully, you know how the Lord ignores you when he wants to, right? He's taking a letter from a person on my left, and he's taking the letter from the person on to my right, and not from me. Now I don't know what's happening. He's taking both the letters, but not from me. And he started actually moving from that place. Is when I actually realized he's just going. That's when the very first time I called him Swami, somebody who's against Satya Sai Baba. He has not spoken to me, not a single word. He's not spoken to me. He just looked at me. Morning, he just blessed the Satcharitra and went off. Nothing. The moment I called him, he stopped. He stopped and he turned and looked at me. You know how beautifully Swami used to take letters like this, right? We can never forget those things. How beautifully how gently he'll take it like this at times, like a scissors. So he took it like that, and by then I'm just weeping. I don't know. I have no idea what was existing around me. Where am I? What is happening? I'm no idea. Nothing is there. Nothing is existing. That's when Swami very beautifully, he was still standing there. He lifted his robe, asking me to take Pada Namaskar. Now, I don't know what happened. I just fell on Swami's feet. I grabbed his feet and I was weeping like a child. His robe and all got wet. And from behind, one Sevadal is trying to pull me so that Swami can go. I'm not leaving Swami. All this crying drama is happening, and Swami gave one pat on my back. Hey, he said. Of course, okay, that's a sign that I have to get up. Then I got up, he went off. Now, the most beautiful thing is this happened as a hat trick. This was a Sunday evening darshan. Monday morning darshan, same thing happened. I wrote a letter. I was waiting for Swami. Swami came, took the letter, gave Pada Namaskar, patted, went off. Same thing again on Monday evening. Now imagine somebody who was dead against him, and somebody who didn't understand why should you wear white and all that. I still remember one of the darshans I went with the veshti, with the dhoti, because I didn't have white shirt, white pant and all that. One of the darshans I had gone in a jeans. I still remember. And when I really wanted to understand what is this thing behind shaving and all that. You have to be clean shaven and all that. These boys used to be, very spick and span when they go to Swami, go to Swami, go for Swami's darshan and all that. And believe me, after the first Pada Namaskar, the next day morning, I woke up before these boys. I had already finished shaving and finished my bath, and woke up these boys, and they were like, "Hello, what's happening?" I said, "No, it's getting late. Let's go for darshan." And it's some 3:30, 3:45 or something in the morning, because you have to go to Ganesh Gate. There is a line before the queue, before the token. There is another queue, there's a queue for the token and all those things. So yes, this happened sometime, and this is how I landed with Swami. So if somebody's going to ask me, oh brother, how did you come to Swami? Swami did some miracle. Swami spoke to you. Swami revealed something. Swami said, oh, I know this happened in your life. Swami gave you an interview. Something happened. This is how I landed up with Swami. Right now, if you ask me, okay, what is happening and how did this happen? I still don't have any idea about this. Now, after this, of course, it has been so many years. This happened in the year 2000. So it has been about 21 years from then. And now the other thing is, I was a person who used to be not too keen in Sundaram as such. You all know Sundaram in Chennai. Not too keen in Sundaram and all that. I just used to visit the Samiti and not a frequent visitor of Sundaram and all that. And I had my own, prejudices. I think I should call it, if I may call it, and my own assumptions and my own limitations with the organization and all that. And somehow in the year 2003, I had gone to another Samiti, which was our neighboring Samiti, where they had a function for Swami's birthday and all that. Not no, their Samiti anniversary or something. And there was a program, and a part of that Samiti was a very senior member in the Sundaram Bhajan group, and he said, "Why don't you join the Bhajan group?" I said, "Sir, I'm not too interested in all that, sir. Because all these rules and regulations and all that, I'm not too keen. No, you just come for an audition and all that." And somebody did an audition, and they said, "Okay, from next Thursday, join the Bhajan group." I was really taken aback. Now, how do I even take this? Okay, let me try and let me see what happens and all that. And it just happened. In the year 2003, I joined the Bhajan group, the Sundaram Bhajan group. And now, very beautifully, the very first program in front of Swami that I got an opportunity to sing was the Tamil New Year in the year 2004, which happened in Vrindavan. Now, I also got an opportunity. They said we had a program, music program, and they said, "Can you go and give this card to Swami and tell Swami about the program, and also tell Swami that we'll not take much of time because Swami was unwell those days. He'd broken his hip and he was already on the wheelchair and all that, and somebody had to kind of support him and all those things. And no, I had to go and tell that to Swami, and that was my very first interaction with Swami, where I'm officially about to go and tell him something, not sitting in the darshan line and giving a letter or something. So we went on to the stage, and there was another boy who was giving a rose to Swami. I was waiting, and Swami called me, and I went to Swami. I was actually on the left side of Swami, and uh, Swami was so I showed the card immediately, and Swami was like, "Enna," in Tamil, he said. And now again, I should definitely talk about this Tamil thing because Thiagu sir was actually, we had a test call sometime in the morning. We were talking, and he was, he was saying, "No, how come your Tamil is like that?" Because I'm actually a Gujarati. My mother tongue is actually Gujarati, and Swami has always spoken to me in Tamil. I don't know why, and only he knows why, all the reason behind it. So he said, "Enna." I said, I spoke in Tamil to Swami. And I said, "Swami, this is what it is, the program." And and when I started talking, Swami put his hand around me on my shoulders from this side. And he said, he started listening. I was trembling one side, you'll have to still tell him all these things and all that. And then Swami was like, Rumba sandosh, very happy. And then I went on to say, Swami, in Tamil, of course, I went on to say, Swami, all the boys, I felt very bad that I'm on the stage with Swami, Brindavan. I was on the stage with Swami, and all the Bhajan group members are sitting and watching us, Swami talking to one of our brothers and all that. I said, Swami, all of them have come, all of us, all the boys have come from the Bhajan group, Swami. So please bless us. Swami is so happy. I think when we are inclusive, Swami got very happy. He started patting on my shoulder. He said, "Rumba sandosham." Very happy, 2 times. And he says, "Nalla paadu, sing well." And then suddenly he just materialized Vibhuti, and he gave Vibhuti to me and the other brother who was giving the rose to Swami. That day apparently was his birthday. Swami took the rose and gave it back to him, put it in his pocket also. And then the vibhuti he gave, and I just took it. Was just a pinch, little bit, not much. So it was very little. So I just closed my palm, and Swami said, "Hey, vaila potuko." I mean, in Tamil, he said, "Put it in your mouth." I didn't know what was happening, and I was already so tensed and so close with Swami. It's like just a few inches gap, and my hands and all started sweating. And the vibhuti that he gave, which was so little, got a little wet with my sweat. So I couldn't even eat it properly. I had to literally lick it. Swami started smiling when I actually licked it, literally. And then he said, "Oh, nalla paadu, go sing well." And then we came down, and the program happened and all that. The I mean, the reason I was talking about all this is, a couple of things that that happened, and how I kind of how I wouldn't say I landed in Parthi, and or how I came to Swami. How, if he chooses to enter somebody's life, he can just do anything. Imagine somebody who was actually going to Shirdi, but on the way back went off to Puttaparthi, and that's it. And from that day, it is about 21 years, and here I am, trying to narrate something to all of you who are all very, very senior devotees, very, very devoted to Bhagwan, and very ardent devotees of Bhagwan. This is how he takes charge or takes control of somebody when he chooses that, yes, I will be a part of your life. So I think that's something which is very beautiful. Of course, after that, it has been a very, very beautiful journey that he has been taking all of us through. I would say there are so many things that have happened in the last so many years, and um, um, if I can sing something again in between, because it's too much of talking. I'm sure very little time left. It's 7:30, sir. We will go on till 8, sir.
Yes, Mayur.
Yes, go on till 8, right? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sure. Couple of these bhajans that I'm singing, either okay, so there's a request for Sri Raghavam. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, definitely. Yes. Sri Raghavam Dasharathatmajam Aprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulanvaya Ratnadipam Ajanubahum Aravindadalaya Daksham Ramam Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami 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 Shri Raghunandana Dasharathanandana Shri Raghunandana Dasharathanandana Bhadradishwara Rama Bhadradishwara Rama Vaidehi Priya Vaikunthavasa Vaidehi Priya Vaikunthavasa Sada Smarami Rameti Rama Sada Smarami Rameti Rama Shri Raghunandana Dasharathanandana. Such a beautiful bhajan. Now there's another bhajan that I was just about to sing before the request came in. We'll finish singing that bhajan. I would like to talk about a small anecdote there. Very interesting, very, very beautiful, very, very interesting anecdote. Krishna Rama Govinda Gokula Nandana Gopala Krishna Rama Govinda Gokula Nandana Gopala Rama Krishna Govinda, Jaya Vrindavana Gopala. Rama Krishna Govinda, Jaya Vrindavana Gopala. Sai Krishna Govinda, Partipurishwara Gopala. Sai Krishna Govinda, Partipurishwara Gopala. Gopala, Sai Gopala, Gopala, Sai Gopala, Gopi Manohar Gokula Bala, Sai Murari, Gopi Manohar Gokula Bala, Sai Murari, Krishna Rama Govinda, Gokula Nandana Gopala. Such a beautiful bhajan, this particular line. Gopala, Gopala, Sai Gopala. It's a very beautiful memory for me personally. So this was in the year 2007 when Swami had visited Chennai for the Atirudra Mahayajnam, as all of us know. So he was there in Chennai. He was in Sundaram for 13 days. He came on the 18th and he left January, 18th of January, and he left back to Puttaparthi on the 31st of January. 18th, of course, there were a few students who had come with Swami. So that evening, Swami had asked them to sing bhajans. But when Swami entered Sundaram, the bhajan group got to sing bhajans in front of him. The next day, we all had gone to the place where the yajna was happening. And apparently, Swami had asked bhajans, enna bhajans illiya? Enna enga bhajan group? So then immediately they said, okay, from tomorrow, the gents bhajan group members will stay back in Sundaram. The Mahilas will actually be in the place, the site where the Atirudra Mahayajnam was happening. Because we need bhajans in both the places. And once Swami finishes darshan in Sundaram and he leaves, by then we also need to go there. It may become a confusion. So they said gents will be in Sundaram and Mahilas will be in the site, in the place where the yajna was happening in Thiruvanmiyur. And of course, it's like, what more to say? No, it's such a blessing, such a great fortune, and such joy that every day you get to sing in front of Swami, because he used to come out of his residence, come out and do a full round of darshan for all the devotees. In fact, he used to go to the road also. People who were in Chennai during the Atirudra Mahayajna would remember. And throughout, we don't know how long he's going to take to finish the darshan. The longer he takes, the more happier we are, because we get to sing more. So one of those days, this was one of the bhajans that I was supposed to sing. And a very senior member of the bhajan group, very, very senior member, one of those founder members of the bhajan group, I would say. The very first, one of those first members of the bhajan group. So we were practicing. Obviously, we practiced before, we sing in front of Bhagwan. When we were practicing that morning, he said, see, in Sundaram, we have this, way of singing where we don't sing Gopala Sai Gopala, we sing it as Sai Ram Satya Sai Ram. Somewhere I was not too happy to sing. It sounds beautiful. There's no doubt about it. It's a very beautiful phrase. Sai Ram Satya Sai Ram. It's going to sound nice. Nothing wrong about it. But somehow, very personally, I was like, Swami, Gopala Sai Gopala is more sounds more closer to you, more affectionate, or whatever. I like it more. But if there is a practice that is followed, you'll have to abide by it, right? So I said, okay, sir, I will sing it as Sai Ram Satya Sai Ram. But inside, I didn't want to sing. I wanted to sing it as Gopala Sai Gopal. Somehow I forced myself and convinced myself, okay, it is going to be Sai Ram and Sai Ram Satya Sai Ram and not Gopala. And it's a very beautiful Krishna bhajan also, right? So we all sat for bhajan. Swami came for darshan. Swami finished this round. the entire darshan round and all that, and completely he came back. And there used to be a very beautiful, if you happen to see those photographs of Chennai Attirudram, a very beautiful small tent kind of a thing, in yellow material, and only two people can sit inside. And of course there was a chair for Swami, and Swami used to sit there, and that boy who used to be Swami's attendant used to sit. And Swami went and sat there, and he was listening to bhajans. And this my turn came, and I was singing this bhajan. So inside there is a conflict. Oh, Swami, Gopala, Sai Gopala. Okay, I'll sing Sai Ram, Satya Sai Ram. So then in the first speed, and I ended up singing. Swami had closed his eyes, and Swami was just waving his hand, and he was listening to bhajans. I sang Sai Ram, Satya Sai Ram. So immediately Swami opened his eyes, and he looked at this boy. I still remember the brother's name, Ranjan. He used to be coming from up north. Um, he looked at this boy, and he said, "Hey, Adi Gopala Sai Gopala Kadu." We could hear Swami because we were sitting here, and just a little bit of gap, and because Swami's tent is also there, the very beautifully done up hut kind of a thing, very beautiful it was. And Swami is like, "Hey, Adi Gopala Sai Gopala Kadu." By now the follow is happening. Let's see how swift Swami is. That boy nodded his head. And from there he said, "Hey," from there he looked at me. He said, Swami said, "Gopala Sai Gopala." I started nodding my head. So happy I was. I said, "Yes, Swami. Yes." And immediately the second time, when we repeat the same line, right? Second time, because in the first speed, I very promptly, very obediently, I started singing Gopala Sai Gopala. Swami immediately recognized, acknowledged that. He was looking at me constantly. Said, as soon as I finished this Gopala Sai Gopala, as soon as I finished that, he said, "Ah, correct." How beautiful these memories are, right? See, if you personally ask me, oh, miracle, I think it's all those moments with Swami which are just a part of you, which are just beautifully unforgettable for your lifetime, and for how many ever lifetimes that we're going to have after this, we don't know. We only hope that this is the last with His grace. So that was a very beautiful, very beautiful, and a very sweet memory that I wanted to share, and that's the reason I was singing that bhajan as well. Now we will just sing a few more bhajans. But just before that, I would definitely like to sing a few lines from a devotional song on Swami. This was a part of an album, a private album that had got released. And this also has a very, very nice, small, very sweet memory with Swami, which happened in the year 2004. I'll come to that after this. A very beautiful song. Karunamaye vande sai rupe prashanti nilaye sarvadevalaye karunamaye vande sai rupe. Om Sai Shri Sai Madhura Mantram Manika Mantram Mananiya Mantram Karunamaye Vande Sai Rupe. Vishwavidyalaya Vyaptam Parama Vaidya Vidyadayakam Sarvamata Sammatam Ishvaramba Sutta Satyanarayanam Venkavaduta Sampritam Avataram Ratnakara Arunachala Bhuvanakara Partishvara Vande Kiranojvala Arunodaya Gunabhushana Saishvara Vande Karunamaye Vande Sai Rupe Prashanti Nilaye Sarva Devalaye Karunamaye Vande. So this it's a devotional song composed in the rag Hamsanandi in Carnatic and it's called Sohni in Hindustani. It's part of an album called Om Sai Shri Sai. You may have heard about Dr. Kalyani Sundarajan. Not she's not a doctor, sorry. Dr. Sundarajan and Kalyani Sundarajan auntie. So this was in the year 2004. We had gone to Puttaparthi for a program, and the program was called Krishna Ganam. And all Krishna songs, obviously. We sang different things on Krishna, including Krishnani Begane and all that. And Swami enjoyed the program, and it was a normal day, not for Janmashtami, because they said Janmashtami students have a program. And the program got over on that evening, and we were still staying back because one by one we were leaving the next day or after 2 days or whatever. So the next day morning, Swami came for darshan. The entire bhajan group, gents, we were sitting for darshan. While he just crossed the Mahila side and where the gents portion of the hall, the part of the hall starts after the line, there were a lot of these office bearers from Tamil Nadu who had come. I think there was a conference or something. All the district presidents and all those people. And Swami was talking to them. And one of those people was somebody called Ishwar Uncle. If you have definitely heard about Venkatamuni, Sri Venkatamuni, who used to be a very ardent and a very old devotee of Swami. Swami used to actually, before Sundaram, Swami used to actually go to Venkatamuni's house and stay there whenever he visited Chennai. His son was Ishwar Uncle. Of course, Ishwar Uncle is no more now. Swami is talking to Ishwar Uncle, and now he finished that and came this side. We were sitting near opposite the old students. And Swami came this side, and we all got up and we thought we'll ask Swami for just some time, no interview or bhajans or whatever. So we all got up and somebody was giving a letter. So Swami said, okay. Swami smiled at all of us and just blessed and took the letters and he went off. Swami has already gone inside the interview room. Now, immediately after he entered the interview room, Ishwar Uncle came running. He said, Swami asked, where are the boys? Ask them to sing in the evening. Now, this Lord, can't he tell us? He spoke to us. We were asking him, Swami program. No, we didn't ask for a program. Swami bhajan. Somebody said, Swami interview, Swami bhajan and all that. We wanted to do bhajans in front of Swami. And there, before all that happened, he's already told Ishwar Uncle, where are the boys? Ask them to sing. Ask them to sing in the evening. So Uncle came and told us, Swami is asking you to sing in the evening. Okay, go prepare. We were like, one more program. Okay, let's, can you believe we missed the morning bhajans that day? We all ran back to the room and we sat and, we were like, okay, what do you know? We started taking a stock of everybody from everybody and put a list. And this was a song from my side. Karunamaye Vande Sai Rupe. Of course, we came up with the list and everything. We practiced and all that. And we went again in the afternoon itself and sat there waiting for Swami to come. Swami came and finished darshan and all that. And he sat ready for the program. Now, one brother went and gave rose to Swami. And the other brother gave and showed this list to Swami. We didn't even have time to print a card or design a card and print a card and all that. We just wrote on an A4 paper and just showed it to Swami. The Swami was very keenly. So those days where you had the railing, no, you'll be on this side of the railing and Swami is on that side, and you have to lean forward and show it to Swami. So Swami was looking at the list and said, "Okay." He's nodding his head, and no, that's all we could see from here. And apparently, Swami was talking to this brother something, so we didn't know what it was because we couldn't hear. And suddenly, this brother turned and looked at us and said something. We didn't understand what it is. We thought, oh, okay, Swami is asking to start. So immediately 3 Omkars and we started with the Ganesha song. Mangaladayaka Sumukha Varada Shubha. So there's a beautiful song like this. So we started singing. Swami started laughing, smirking at us. And this brother didn't know what to do. Swami said, okay, you go. So he came back and he sat with us. So we didn't understand. Somebody is now in front of Swami. What can you ask him? He said, okay, continue. Swami was just looking at us and smiling and he left it. And then the second song was this Karuna Maya Vande. And I started singing this song. Swami saw me from there. She looked at me. Ah, correct. I didn't understand anything. And only later we understood from this brother that what Swami was actually talking to him. Swami saw the list and Swami asked him apparently, Karuna Maya Vande yaru padra? Who's singing Karuna Maya Vande? In Tamil, obviously. And he said, Swami Mayur padra. Swami Mayur is going to sing. Swami said, Amana modalla pada sollu. Ask him to sing first. That's exactly what he was trying to turn and hint us. We didn't understand. We thought Swami is asking us to start the program, and we started off, and Swami was like this, and he started laughing at us. I mean, smiling at us. I mean, no, another very, very sweet memory with Swami, which is just unforgettable. Now imagine he's like, okay, goes on to the extent of asking, okay, who's singing this? Asking to sing. I don't know why. I still don't know the reason behind why he wanted. In fact, of course, you would have seen a Ganesha song in the first, but of course, yes, the sweetest Lord ever. So these kind of beautiful memories that we will never cease to forget that we've had with Swami. Couple of more bhajans. Um, जननी मां कृपालिनी मां जननी मां कृपालिनी मां तुम हो प्रेम स्वरूपिणी मां दया करो सत्य साई मां कृपा करो सत्य साई मां जननी प्रेमदायिनी मां जननी प्रेमदायिनी मां जननी साई देवी दयामयी जननी मां कृपालिनी मां तुम हो प्रेम स्वरूपिणी मां दया करो सत्य साई मां कृपा करो सत्य साई मां जननी प्रेमदायिनी मां जननी प्रेमदायिनी मां. Makes me choke thinking about this bhajan. The mother, the eternal mother, how selfless his love is, how unfathomable his love is. I mean, humbly, I would definitely want to share this with all of you. Sister had actually mentioned about Swami had blessed, with a ring and all that. So this happened in the year 2010. So we'd gone for a drama in front of Swami, which is called as the Sai Yugam Prema Yugam. So even the previous year we had done a drama, Sai Yugam Swarna Yugam, and 2010 was the second drama. Both the years I played the role of Sage Narada. You'll have to sing in front of Swami, and of course the main track also had sung, and all that happened. I mean, these are not reasons that we can even relate to why Swami does something. So that day the drama got over. It was very late. I think it was already about 7:45 or 8 in the evening. And after the drama is over, Swami generally comes and takes photograph with the entire group. So we had actually made a way in between, and we were sitting as two groups. And Swami came in, and I think I was in the second or the third row on the aisle. And Swami looked at me. He didn't talk to me. He spoke to some other person on the left side because he was a student. And Swami asked him, "Hey, enna pandra? Yeah, what do you do?" He said, "Swami, HDFC Bank. I'm working in HDFC Bank." Swami said, "Enga? Where?" Said Swami, "Chennai." So Swami nodded his head. And again, he further, went in further. And another student was there. He spoke to him, and something he spoke. And so Swami's chair turned, facing the mandir. And so we were all looking at Swami, eagerly looking at Swami. So from a distance, Swami looked at me. So because I think from the front, I was in the second or the third row or something. Swami's already gone a little inside. So from there, Swami said, "Huh?" I didn't understand what that meant. Uh, I was like, okay, maybe Swami is actually wanting to tell me something or something. So I went closer to Swami, literally on Swami's, on trying not to fall on him. So I was kneeling down, and he's like, started talking, and said, "Hey, be careful." I was like, "Oh my God, he's just reflecting something." So I didn't talk to him at all. There was absolutely nothing to talk to him. He's just trying to just mirror and just look through you. Said again in Tamil, he said, "Hey, Jakarta." I was again, literally just completely. So now we say Saptanadi Adanginum in Tamil, no? Everything is just blank. And he went on to talk, and then he said, "Hey, ஊருக்கு போற ஜாக்கிரதை." What he meant was, you're traveling, be careful. Now, brothers and sisters, the beauty behind this is this is happening on the 24th of July in 2010, and it's a Saturday, and all this is happening, and we are about 60-70 of us, the entire drama group and all that. And Swami is talking about, you're traveling, you ஊருக்கு போற ஜாக்கிரதை. Now, the next Saturday, which is the 31st of July, I'm actually supposed to travel to the United States for some official work and for about 3 months. And I had gone the previous year also, sometime in December. I really didn't like the trip, and somehow, for whatever reasons, I was not too happy with the trip. It was just a 2-3 weeks trip or something. I was really taken aback. Why is Swami saying this? No, you're traveling. Maybe something untoward is going to happen, or I have to be careful about something. I don't know what else to do. But the way I'm so close to Swami, and Swami is already telling me, "Hey, be careful, be jakarde," and all these things. I'm so blank, not afraid, but so blank. So I didn't have the courage to ask Swami. I didn't have the courage to talk to him. Then he looked at somebody by this side, that side, and all that, and then again he looked at me. So I was just kneeling down with folded hands, and there was a mark on my on my finger, the ring finger, where I used to wear a Shirdi Baba ring for a very long time. That had just broken just before the drama, 2 days before 3 days before the drama, it had broken. My mother had told me, no. I said, "What is this? I'm going to Parthi, and this ring is breaking." She said, "Okay, whatever, just to take it along with you. You can't wear it, but take it along with you." So I had taken it along with me. So, having worn it for such a long time, it had left a mark. And Swami very, very beautifully is just noticing that mark on on the finger. And he then looked at me, and then he looked at somewhere, and suddenly he started materializing. Now, another brother who was actually behind Swami had actually seen something red coming out of Swami's palm. He said, but actually, when Swami took it out, it was a green stone. So this brother was telling, "Hey, I saw Swami taking a red thing, but when he put it for you, it was green and all that." I said, "Somebody who has created this entire creation, red or green, how does it matter to him?" And then, so he just showed it like this. Now, I didn't have the courage to show my hand or anything. What if it was for somebody else? I didn't want to fall flat on my face, so I didn't do anything. I was just looking at him. Swami just held my hand and pulled it towards him, and he put it. When he pulled my hand, I thought, see, which hand you don't know, right? It may be left or right. And then Swami just beautifully just pulled my hand and just put it on the ring finger. It was actually a small ring. It got stuck halfway. Somewhere here it got stuck. So he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He said, again in Tamil, he said, "Thallu pogum, push it, it'll go." I had the audacity to tell him, and I mean, reply to Swami saying, "Swami, ningale tallunga." You push it, Swami. Swami smiled and he pushed it also, like a child. No, he's like a child. He pushed it also, but it just went inside. You know, he was so happy. So like a child, he was so happy. He was like, "See, correct size." So I said, "Swami, ninga pota the Swami, correct size tha Swami." So he's so happy. So imagine somebody who's as beautiful as a child, talking to you, smiling and all that. Split second, again, like a very strict father. He's like, "Hey, uruk pore jagarda." Then I thought, okay, something is wrong with this trip. Again, see, it's also getting late, right? For Swami, it was already about 8:15, 8:30 or something. And the brother behind who's pushing Swami's chair is like, "Brother, time up, Sai Ram," he says. And then Swami, apparently they had to go, and Swami went till the portico. The car was already waiting. Suddenly, another brother came running. I think it was Sashank Shah. If you remember Sashank Shah, he came running. He said, "Hey, where is Narada?" I didn't understand. I said, "Brother, what happened?" I got up and he said, "No, no, Swami is calling you." I'm literally just getting up and trying to run to Swami. By then, Swami's car started moving. I think it was already late, and they didn't want to waste time further. Maybe something went late in between. And then another brother came and he said, "Sorry, brother, Swami asked me to give this to you." It was a very beautiful, freshly printed photograph of Swami putting the ring just a few minutes back. By then, they had, I think through Wi-Fi or something, they had already printed that photograph and took it to Swami. Swami blessed it, and Swami asked, "Hey, where is Narada? Call him." So by the time all this could be conveyed to me, and by the time I don't know, by the time I could go and collect it from Swami, Swami had already boarded the car and the car started moving. But the beauty is, from the window, he looks at you, and after the turn, you can look at Swami. Right? He looks at you, he started smiling at me. I I don't know. That's uh, the unfathomable, the limitless, boundless love of Swami is we can't put it in words. This is just impossible. I still have that photograph with me, but yeah, I've not framed it. Also, I'm afraid that it may get stuck somewhere. It may somebody may damage it while framing it or something. So the beauty is, after this, Sunday I was still in Parthi. Monday I went to Bangalore, and we took a bus from there because the train got cancelled. We took a bus from there. Tuesday morning I reached. I used to do night shifts those days. I used to work with a company called Flextronics, and so it was quite some time since I checked my emails and all that. So I logged into my laptop, and I was checking my emails. You won't believe there's a long email that has come from a counterpart in the United States, whom we used to work closely because of these official things and all that, apologizing for canceling our trip in the last minute for whatever unavoidable reasons, blah 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 blah, whatever. And I just couldn't understand what is happening, because she says Saturday I'm supposed to travel. There is the previous night or something, they have sent an email from there saying, "Sorry, you'll have to cancel your trip. There is a big loss because of the cancellation and all that. They are ready to pick up the cost, everything." I was really taken aback and I was choking, thinking about Swami's love. Now, just 2 days back, Swami is telling you, be careful. And he's telling you about traveling. You're going to travel, Uruk Pore Jagrada, you're traveling, be careful. And 2 days later, the entire trip is cancelled. And the beauty is that night I go to office, my director then, my boss is my super boss, was a Swami student. And he was waiting for me to come to office because I was on leave for 3 days because of Parthi. He called me, he said, hey, very sorry, some confusion, you know what, this. And I was smiling throughout. He said, hey, what, your trip is cancelled, your team's trip is cancelled, you're smiling, what happened? Okay, forget all that. You tell me, Parthi, how was Parthi? How was the drama? How was everything and all that? Then he looked at my hand and he said, isn't that Swami's ring? I said, yes, this is what happened. Imagine he's weeping like a child. I'm weeping there. So, it's like two brothers sitting and just thinking about Swami's love and just feeling Swami's love and just crying. This is Swami for us. I still don't have an idea why Swami cancelled the trip. What was supposed to happen in the trip? That trip never happened after that. I have never traveled to the United States after that. I just have absolutely no idea why he does what he does. But he is the mother of mothers. Swami always says 1,000 mothers. I think it's not 1,000. I think Swami is wrong. I always challenge Swami. It's not 1,000 and all, Swami. What 1,000 you're talking about? There is countless. There's no count at all. There's absolutely no number at all. You can't put him inside a number at all. He's infinite. Yeah. His love is just infinite. Yeah, I mean, that was quickly about what happened and how that entire thing happened. There are a few messages. I'm just going to quickly check if there is any request for anything. No, I think. Oh yeah, yes, there are, yes. There are about 3 of them. I'll quickly, sir, I'll not take much of time. Quickly, I'll just sing all of them because somebody has requested. I definitely don't want to disappoint anybody. गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाल घनश्याम नंद लाला मनमोहना मधुसूदना हे माधवा गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाल घनश्याम नंद लाला दामोदरा जनार्दना मुरलीधरा मनमोहना दामोदरा जनार्दना मुरलीधरा मनमोहना नमो साई नारायणाय नमो सत्यनारायणाय नमो साई नारायणाय नमो सत्यनारायणाय गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाल घनश्याम नंद लाला. Another one that I see is Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Aruna Shiva. Akshayalinga, Atmalinga, Tejomaya, Vigrahalinga, Iha Parasukhadayaka, Isha. Iha parasukhadayaka. I see one more. Shri Guru Partivasa, Shri Guru Partivasa, Sai Brahma Vishnu Mahesha, Sai Brahma Vishnu Mahesha, Shri Guru Partivasa, अल्लाह भी तुम हो, मौला भी तुम हो, ज़ोराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु भी तुम हो, राम रहीम हो, कृष्ण करीम हो, राम रहीम हो, कृष्ण करीम हो, श्री गुरु प्रतिवासा. With these few words and bhajans, thanking Swami, thanking our most beloved Swami for this beautiful opportunity of having been born as part of his mission in the same time, and for taking us in his fold. And I think he owns this responsibility of taking us back to the source. I think he owes us that much, definitely, and that's the very purpose of his avatar also, I think. Thanking all of you from the center, from the Thane center, uh, thanking the Almighty, thanking Swami in each and every one of you for this great opportunity, and with utmost reverence and utmost humility, and with prayers, I would definitely look at Swami. I have a photo here, very beautiful photo where he's smiling. So the master that he is, the guru, the dispeller of darkness of ignorance that he is, will definitely take us back to him, to the source. Jai Sai Ram.
Ram, thank you, Mayur.
Sai Ram,
So
Sai
I
Ram,
request
Sai Ram.
our convener Varatharajan to address vote of thanks, and then he will perform Arati. You can sing, and then you can
Yes.
close with Om Shanti.
Yes.
Over to Varatharajan. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sairam, Sairam Mayur. It was a fantastic talk, interspersed with your experiences. And one of the most important questions in my life that I had, I got the answer today. That was why Swami used Arunachala Shiva. I was always wondering, ever since I came into Swami's fold. This was one of my foremost doubts. And till today, believe me, till today, I did not get the answer. And only today I got why he took Arunachala Shiva instead of other Shiva Stalas which are there. Even in Tamil Nadu, there are extremely many famous Shiva Stalas are there. But Swami chose Arunachala Shiva. And I'm also one of the very ardent followers of Ramana Maharshi and his teachings of Who Am I. So I extremely, thank you very much for taking up this subject and then interspersing with Swami's experiences. Excellent experiences that you have had. Thank you so much from all the members in the Thane Samiti for this excellent talk that you have given. Now I'll take the Aarti and you can start the singing part.
Yes.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir. Sai Ram. जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी सत्य साई हरे, भक्त जना संरक्षक, भक्त जना संरक्षक, परति महेश्वरा, ओम जय जगदीश हरे. शशिवदना श्रीकरा, सर्व प्राणपते, स्वामी सर्व प्राणपते, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आवद् बान्धवा, ओम जय जगदीश हरे. मात पिता गुरुदेव मरियंतयु नीवे, स्वामी मरियंतयु नीवे, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा, नागेन्द्राशयना, ओम जय जगदीश हरे. ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा, सत्य साई महादेवा, मंगल हारति अंदुको, मंगल हारति अंदुको, मंदर गिरिधारी, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om. Om Jai Sadguru Deva. Om Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki. Jai.